And then we hold on to that rope of hope for dear life and move into the future, even traveling blind. Holding on to that rope of hope, which is the anchor of our tradition. Trust. Isn't that a great image for tradition? Not something behind you, but that's ancient future. One word. Ancient future. Now, we got a challenge tonight. It's 8 o'clock, and I don't want to keep you too long. But I do want to see how well y'all are doing. So we're going to get a little test here, okay? With thinking in metaphors, images, biblical metaphors, images, not just words. We spend a lot of time in worship doing something called singing. Probably, other than listening to sermons, it's one of the things that we do the most. I want you to give me some images of Jesus singing. Before he went, where do you find that? They sang a hymn before they went out. Now, most likely, this was Psalms 115 to 118, the second part of the Hallel Psalm. That's one image of Jesus singing. See, it's important for us as we're communicating to convey the images that go along with what we do, and especially attach them to Jesus. So here's one of Jesus singing with the disciples this hymn before they went out. Anybody else? Any other image of Jesus singing? Have you ever thought of it before? Hey? Come on now. Anybody? I never thought of that one. That is a really, yeah. Anybody else? Okay. So I never thought of that one either. Hebrews 2. I've been thinking more Gospels, see? And you all are doing much more Apple than I was. I was doing the orange thing. I was just thinking Gospels. Anybody else? Okay, here, let me suggest to you the image that ought to pop immediately into all of our minds, and we need to give our people this image. But it's so we're not thinking in images that we miss the most obvious one. The greatest image of Jesus singing is when he sang on the cross. I want to repeat that. The greatest image of Jesus singing is when he sang on the cross. Now, we were getting so much stuff wrong about the cross. One of my favorite collections is Karl Barth wrote this. Karl Barth actually, when he had a friend who was in prison ministry, and his friend got him to preach a couple times in prisons. And so somebody collected, I think there's 5 of those sermons, and it's called Deliverance for the Captives. You might want to look at that on Amazon, just Deliverance for the Captives. And in one of these sermons, I mean, the fact that Bart was asked to preach in a sermon forced him to, asked to preach in a prison, and forced him to do sermons that were contextualized. So I thank God that person asked Bart to preach in those prisons, because I never would have thought of this. Bart went in one of these sermons, I think it was number 2 in the collection, but in one of them, he just absolutely went on a rant against any image of the cross that is by itself. Karl Barth, one of the greatest theologians of the 20th century, Hugh just went on this rage against anybody who portrayed a single image of the cross. I'm going, what's this about? And Bart's point was, no. Jesus did not die alone.